chapter 5, verses 20. 1 Thessalonians 5, verses 20. The scripture says, do not despise prophecies. Do not despise what? Prophecies. Unganyazi i-prophet noma ungadebeseli i-prophet. Do not despise. Why is the scripture encouraging us not to despise prophecies? Kulula ukuthi ufike la uba discouraged, and when a prophecy comes you say, they are fun. Very easy. Very easy. Are you with me? Some of us here, one of the reasons why your prophecy has not come to pass, you are waging a warfare ulwa nezi namadimoni anqoba abobabakho nabomkhulu wakho. All of them have come against you. Are you with me? Ulwa nama generational battle. You are in a generational battle, and you are the one God is counting on to win that battle. You are fighting your 3, 4, 5, 6 forefathers, your grandmothers. You know, for some people here, and I'm not saying Gabi, so don't take offense. For some, you come from a family of long-term alcoholics, and you are battling a spirit that wants to come into your life and gain legal ground. And there's a prophecy over your life that when your life is going to turn out this way. And the reason why it looks like it's not turning out that way, it's because there's a spirit of alcoholism that wants to come and block that prophecy from coming to pass. You cannot afford to uktata ukholwa kancane when you come from a family abantu bebanga call. Let me say this, and please hear me well. Some of us come from a generation of fathers who prayed and broke certain things, as Zagibo, and mothers who broke into Zagibo. The Mlochas family, from my dad, ubaba kunenta's pula from the Mlochas, umama kunenta's pula from the Mnisis. There are battles I'm not fighting. But I must just sit and say, Bang pay velindle. There's another way again. For the next 2 generations, there's an order of priesthood for my family that must be perpetuated. So one of the things, personally, that I am battling is never to quit ministry. If I quit ministry, there's a generation. There's an older brother of mine. You know the story, Baba Waisha Tile, before he met my mom, his first wife died from diabetes. She got sick for a long time. She died in the 80s, early 80s, before he married my mom. One of my older brothers, who's late now, he passed on in COVID season. He passed on. He entered ministry and he was a pastor. He showed more fruit than my dad. He was becoming more even financially successful than my dad. Along the way, he quit ministry because of ubunzima bazalwane be ministry. Sometimes it's not money. There's many things as in ministry. He quit ministry and he left ministry. I was talking to his son not long ago, who is feeling the same calling that is bothering him. And I'm telling him, with your dad, remember, washia unfinished business. There's something hanging that he has left. There's an order of priesthood we have in this family. And you must fulfill it, because if you don't, it will bother your sons and daughters. So many of us, the reason there's a raging war against us, it's because kunento that must happen that was spoken over your life. And Usatane wants to make sure that you fail, so that he can come out and say, uhlulekile, ukhwithile, iyekelile, imbambile. And don't think it's going to be easy for the next generation. They will have to start where you failed. Let me say that again. The next generation will start where you have failed. They will fight a battle that was not theirs. It's not fair for our children to fight battles that are not theirs. Battles that our children must fight, they must be different than ours. Solomon did not fight David's battles, never. He had to build the temple. He had another route to take. He had to build the temple, not fight David's battles. Of course, there were other things he had to deal with. I'm not going to go into that. It's a teaching for another day. But then, if we stop, if we don't have a persistent spirit, we fail now, we stop now. Next generation, they wonder, what is wrong with us? What is wrong? There's an unfinished business that mom and dad left hanging. Are people sitting here? You need to break generational poverty in your family. You need to fight it. Where your forefathers, when they made covenants with spirits, you were not there. You are the one at the at the helm yokuma and fight. You are the one who must continue the bet. Come on, Bazalan. You are the one who must continue to uthathe lento iso to the next level. You are the one ofanele ukuthi ushiye ezinye izinto uthathe ezinye izinto. Take the mantle and move. It's possible some of us sitting here, maybe your great-grandmother was a prayerful woman. Maybe you don't even know in the history of your family. And maybe there's something always bothering you, a good thing. It's because kunomuntu who did something somewhere. I used to have a friend. He told me a story that in his family, generations prior, there were prophets. But all of them died by yegelile ukol. Died in poverty and in alcohol. That spirit followed him. I don't want to say much because we're online. He allowed certain things in his life to come, to creep in. He's not in ministry today. He was there at my wedding. He was there. He looks somber. Doesn't look good, that guy. He's lost. And I'm unclear, but please don't think I'm arrogant. I'm saying, yeah, I like it. No. Somber and lost. And I know where he lost it. 2018. He lost it in 2018. He opened the door and Satan came. Bazalan, listen to me. Also, when Satan smiles at you, it's not because he loves you. It's an opportunity for him to kill you. And if you will embrace his smile, he's going to take advantage. He's going to be brutal. He's going to kill you. And let me tell you, you are standing on words. Prophet. Some of us, it may not be a direct prophecy over your life. It may be a prophecy over your family, Ayapuma, 5 generations before you were born. You must fulfill it. It must be fulfilled in your lifetime through you. When there are dynamics of the prophetic, what are some of those dynamics? The first dynamic is God uses what we call a picture when he speaks to us prophetically. Abraham, get out of your country. As far as you see the stars and the sand, that is the number of the descendants you will have, or that's the descendants you will have. So God used a picture to release a prophetic word. He painted his tomb nangani with the sand. This is how things are going to turn out for you. So every time Abraham wakes up at night when he takes a stroll, this is my view of him. Magapuma from his tent, and the first thing he looks up and he sees the stars, and he's discouraged, and he starts to look down and he sees the sand. He is encouraged because that is part of his prophecy. When you look up, you're seeing a picture. When you look down, you're seeing a picture. God uses a picture. For some of us here, there's a picture that in front of your eyes. It's forever there. It's because God is encouraging you not to give up. There's a picture. Prototype. If you go to a factory that manufactures cars, and then maybe the engineers have designed a car, and then they say this is going to be the first model and whatever. They design the first one and then they test it, they do that. That car is called a prototype, is the first, and all other cars will follow that model. God uses a prototype for many of us. There's a picture. There's a family now. Always you are inspired. And that's a prototype of the type of family you must build. It's a prophecy over your life. That's where you are going. There's a kunomuntu prayer life yakhe now ibheka inspire, and kuna many other dynamics now wabheka they inspire you. It's because God is using that as a prototype. God uses these pictures to speak to us. Shows you. The picture doesn't leave you. Number 2, God uses a desire. Not all desire is bad, not all desire is evil. He uses a strong desire. It's a desire, it's in your spirit, you cannot control it, it's right there. It's always there in all seasons. A strong desire. Ukulangazelela, kufisa ukuthize. It's not just daydreaming, it's real. It's in your heart. You desire this thing. You want to do this thing. You want to reach this level. So prophecy also it will inspire desires out of us. God will use that. A desire. Delight yourself in the Lord and He'll give you the desires of your heart. When you delight yourself in the Lord, also plant a desire that He will be obligated to fulfill. Are you with me? He plants that desire. God is a God. He plants desires in us. Much as Satan can plant a desire for people to destroy other people, God also plants a desire to build. Are you with me? So you need to pray, God, let there be a resurgence out of in my heart. A resurgence and a resuscitation of a desire. Let it be genuine, let it be tangible. But 3, God uses exposure. 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 Exposure is when you are exposed to environments. Environments that will stir something in you. In the year 2002, 2003, I had an exposure. One of those was, I was watching, there was an old show, SAPC one called Gospel Gold. And I was watching that show, 2002. And Michael Smith was sitting on the piano. Open the eyes of my heart. Man, something in my spirit was erupted. Something erupted in my spirit. It was Fred Hammond doing Speak Those Things, Volume 3. You are the source of my strength. He was doing Richard Smallwood's song. Wanted everything that I saw there. Kanti, little did I know that God is going to take it a step further. When I went to Rhema the following year, it just, the picture made sense. I remember when I walked into the yard of Rhema the first time in my life. I had seen Rhema from videotapes, VHS. How many of you remember my VHS? I still have those. I still have videotapes, TDK cassettes, Zabo, Bishop Eddie Long, and all the greats of the day. I still have those old stuff. I remember when I walked there, the picture was more real. No, it's okay, guys. It's after. It's okay. The picture was more real. Are you with me? The picture, Unkulunkulu exposed me to that environment, and that environment made me to see what you see, some of us, there's something you've never seen, but there's something you want. You can't put it, you don't have a language for it. God will expose you to that thing. You'll have a language for it. God will expose you to a group of people. Now, then you will be like, oh, now that I never had a language for. He will expose you to certain marriages. You will be like, this is the type of marriage. I didn't have a language. Now I can put it to words. God will take you to spaces, to conferences. He will allow you to go to conferences where you will have a language for something. You will see something and you'll be like, Lento, that has been in my heart. I couldn't pronounce it. Or Lento, that was prophesied over me. Though it was prophesied, I couldn't grasp it. I only had it. Now it's making sense. I see it. This is where God is taking me. This is who is forming out of. Last year, the 1st of September, we went to Midrand, Great Light Church, Apostle Joshua Sangwe. Amazing man. Amazing guy. I went there for one reason. That's when we had an issue in a venue, you know. And I said, God, I'm his name. Net nglungseli issue a venue. Apostle Joshua Sangin looked at me. I have the video there. He said, sir, I was wearing a t-shirt in Tulan 3 rows away. He said, sir, he just pointed like this. Are you a pastor? I said, yes. He said, please come. I have a word from the Lord for you. And he said things to me that made a lot of sense. He painted a picture. And there's something I never understood about me. There was just one thing. And Usangwen, I have that video even here. He made sense. He spoke about the future of this church. And he told me, and one of the things he said, when you move to your venue, there's going to be an outbreak in your church. Something's going to break open. And he prophesied, and he told me about vision. He said, don't lose the vision. And he spoke. He said, don't lose the vision. He said, keep the vision. He spoke, and he said, I see this, I see. And this God's going to do, and that. And many of those things were connecting prophecies, were confirmations. Now, the reason why the battles have raged so hard against us, the enemy doesn't want us to reach there. But thanks be to God, we are reaching there. Come on, Bazalan. We are not giving up. As we are pressing, we are moving. Another dynamic God uses, it's what we call the inner knowing. Where you know something without knowing it, but you just know it. Without having to study it, it's an inner know. It's deeper than a feeling. It's a revelation of the Spirit where it's not a voice, but it's an inner knowing. You know. Suddenly you know something. Yila word of knowledge ifika khona bazalwane, where 1 Corinthians 12 talks about word of knowledge, where you see something, I can see it. I see it. I know it. There's an inward knowing. No one tells you, but uba a sudden knowledge of something. You understand it. Now, let's move to the next phase. I want to share this quickly. There are certain things we must consider when it comes to prophetic words. Number one, we must pray against demonic delays. Some prophecies get delayed because certain spirits want to delay. They come and delay your word. They delay the fulfillment of that word. You must initially be intentional and say, I pray against all demonic delays against this prophetic word. Remember that spirits will always use people. Spirits find and partner with people who will speak things against your life. I'll give an example for this church. Someone will come and say, and they will pronounce it. Someone will come and want to sow division. Someone will come, because these are spirits that are pushing an agenda to delay the word from coming to pass. The same with you. There's a word over your life, and there's someone who speaks against you. There's someone who speaks things and say, angeke uzuphumelele. Eyakho iyophela kabi. Iyophela in pain. Eyakho iyophela in shame. Eyakho iyophela, nothing will ever work for you. Nothing. They say things and they speak words. Abazikhulumele from their minds. They are inspired by spirits from darkness. And these are spirits that if we're not going to guard and be wise, they are spirits that cause our prophetic words from coming to pass. They get delayed. And where you feel and sense, this word was supposed to be fulfilled, but there's just a delay that doesn't make sense. I know that I know from my spirit. Not because I'm impatient, but there's an inward knowing. I know by this time, this word was given time. Next day, this time, God says this. But why? Because there's a demonic delay. There's a traffic endleleni yakho. Spirits are standing and they are using human beings to stand on your way, to discourage. Some of it's words of discouragement. Okunye awuhlejwa, utshela straight to your face. You will never make it. Lento yakho yenzayo ayisebenzi, yekele. Words that are amazon eyiswana, evil words. Words that are not of God. You must pray against the demonic delay. It wants to delay your family from reaching the point God wants it to reach. It wants to delay you from becoming the person God has called you to be. There are callings and gifts. There's many things. There's many things you must achieve. The reason you are not achieving them is because there's a demonic delay. There's a traffic in the spirit. Make sure that you pray against that traffic. Make sure that you pronounce words against that traffic. Make sure that you speak over your word. Speak life over your word. Resurrect your word. Number two, you must pray against satanic abortions. There are delays and then there are abortions. There are women who went through abortion. It's a sensitive topic. In the natural, they abort. In fact, I wanted to say miscarry. There are satanic miscarriages and abortions. Abortions is when Satan uses you to abort the word. Uses your mouth to kill what God said will happen in your life. Where you speak against your own destiny. You speak against your own children. And whatever we speak, Bazalwan, will be recorded in the courts of heaven. Will be recorded even in the realms of the spirit. Bazalwan, the realms of the spirit don't forget. The realms of the spirit record things. Isn't those yellow or things are written? So there are satanic abortions and miscarriages that happen so that your word doesn't come to pass. Where you yourself with your own mouth, with your own actions, you destroy what God has given you. Be careful not to destroy your own children. Don't destroy your destiny with your mouth. Don't destroy your entire marriage and your family with your own mouth. Don't destroy your life, Barcelona, with your mouth. Because if you are not careful, Satan is going to take advantage and is going to put you under pressure. Please, be careful. Seasons under pressure. Have you ever been so pressed against the wall? Uzokuthi, I am pressed from all sides. I can't breathe. From all sides I'm pressed. It's like everyone is turning against you. It's like everything is against you. That's when hell has unleashed every arsenal enayo. uSatan urelease konke nakho in his arsenal. He has released things against you to push you in a corner. And when you are in that corner, you've got to make sure, my friend, that you don't lose your cool, especially with your mouth. You rather cry, you rather roll on the floor, but watch your words, watch your mouth when you're under pressure. Because there will be abortions that are unnecessary. You will abort what God has already invested in your life. Uzobulala into enhle that God gave you. You will kill something good. For us abafundisi, sometimes so frustrated, so under pressure, so limele kakhulu. One of the worst things that can happen to a pastor, so limele kakhulu. Uqhubeke ushumayela. Sometimes sit down. Yeah, sometimes get people to preach and sit down. Take a break. If ebazalwane nomfundisi okwalimala ne sontweni lakhe kwakushubile wathatha ibreak zanga khonza that Sunday wafaka ielder wahamba ukhonza kwelinye isonto. If you know, if I know that I will burst in anger and say things over everybody and end up aborting what God is doing, rather let me sit down. Let me go for counseling. Let me go for holiday and get healing. Come on, bazalwane. Let me do something of God so that ngibuye futhi engqondweni recover and come back to life. You rather not forced to do things than end up destroying with your mouth. You rather not force to. God gave it to you free of charge. It's right in your hands. You've killed it. You've killed your children. You've killed the future of your family. You've killed your life. You've killed your ability and your potentials for you to grow. You've killed everything uNkulunkulu wanted to do in your life. You rather not abort, rather not miscarry. Times of pressure. Times of offense. Some times of offense are the worst. You're not going to believe this. In January, the word of the Lord came to me. I was in my room. And the word of the Lord said, it's going to be a bittersweet year. Let me finish everything that he said. He said, you are going to be offended this year. And when he said that, hey, Bazalan, I saw a picture. I saw a picture of people blindfolds like this. And he said, many will offend you, bangaboni. They will be used by the devil against you. Be careful. It's been a hard year for me in that department. The offenses that came against me were, there was a time where I was like, this is now I don't know what to do. I was like, now what is this, Lord? I'm just running my race. And I was reminded, remember the word, you will be offended this year. It was a time of pressure. Now it's a time where the test is, what do you say with your mouth? Otherwise you will abort, and it's going to take you another cycle of life. Back to the word would be fulfilled. And sometimes it will take hard work. Moses, over his anger, I don't blame him though, Bazalan. Over his anger, apete the tablets of stone. Because abantu baphize, he was so angry. He put the and God said to him later, you will carve these words with the chisel and the hammer. But sometimes some cycles will take us to go through a harder season. And it's because over your frustration, you aborted the season. Don't abort your season. Don't abort your season. Don't abort your word. Number 3, you must override satanic incantations by reciting the prophecy. Numbers 23 will show you Numbers 23. Balaam and Balak. Israel. Ama incantations, Bazalan. It's when people they go to altars of evil. They slay Kazle Lenkuku. Ansha Basafit these days, Bas Komba Nakbo TikTok, we see what they do even on YouTube. You see what they do. Basiki Kazle Namulinkuku. Tati Kazlakona, but Tati Tombazako. You know those funny things. Over your picture. And they pronounce it's what we call satanic incantations. They are pronouncing failure. They are pronouncing loss. They are pronouncing kulega. they're pronouncing death, untimely death. They speak over you. Stroke, mysterious. Have you seen a person who dies who just gets sick mysteriously and die mysteriously? I'm not saying all of them it's like that. It could be a natural cause. But they die mysterious death. Suddenly they just fell and died. Suddenly something very strange happened. They just vomited something that doesn't make sense, that looks like a spider web, and they died. And this happened and that happened and that. It's because of this, what we call satanic incantations. They speak. They walk over amalahle banqunu bakhumula. They get instructions to zokhumula kunamalahle lapha uzothatha isithombe sakhe and walk over them mushe and speak failure and death over them. There's another thing that I heard of, but abanye what they do, they sit in a rendezvous house where there's no light for 3 days without eating, and they sit with a pot angazi bayifakani. They put people's pictures, they speak, and no, they don't go to the bathroom, they don't go out, they don't breathe, they speak. Bazalwane, witchcraft is real, evil is real. They say things, they fight. I'm not here to, Bazalwane, don't have any fear. Chill. Don't have fear. They say things, they build things. May this fail and may this. And sometimes you wonder, all of a sudden everything was working. From nowhere, everything fell down. See these things they do for ways. I pull them up, and then they speak there. You know, we are online. Anyway, yabona downtown la. Le khona la ngase taxi rank. Someone said it to us and saying ama AM la ziyabuya. La kuhlala khona abantu abathengisa izipinashi nana. People walk there at night, they tell izinto, they speak, they pronounce, they do things. Let me shock you. There was once an individual who would come to church. One person would see this individual. Maktandazwa, they would have a charm in their hands. The rest of the people wouldn't see it. And they would go to an individual like Diva, Ashayla. But confused. Their lives would be messed up. Next Sunday, and this person would come, and they would go to their house and sit with them, drink tea. Little did they know they are overcome by charm. Before you know it, that person, their lives were so mixed up until they left the church. Charms by certain individuals who are agents of Satan who come to church. This is difficult. Information. You know, when we were growing up, our parents, there's things they never told us concerning family. Some problems we have. In your growing up, as your pastor, there's things I can't tell you. If I can tell you same thing, I'm making stories up. Until your eyes in the spirit are opened, you will cry, or you'll roll for 3 days. Hi. Don't joke with these things, Pastor, they are real. Don't joke with these things. Override satanic incantations. How do you do it? You speak your word. This is what God said. I speak my word. I come on, Pastor, speak your word. Activate your word. Kuluma. Number 4. You will misunderstand what I say. Learn to sow seeds. Seeds of service, seeds of finance in activating the word. Let me say that again. Sow seeds. What types of seeds? Seeds of service. Seeds of finance in activating the word. I'm going to say that for the third time. Sow seeds. Hlanyelo imbewu. Yokhonza, service. Yokunikela, finance in activating the word. There's a principle I've learned, and it took me a long time to learn this. I had to learn it I had to learn it without listening to too many people, but just learn it well. And I saw it. Now walk with me, Bazalan, very slow, very slow. Very slow. There's a mystery in giving finance or giving seeds and sowing seeds, sacrificial seeds. There's a mystery there. Mbamben Bazalan, just sacrificial, not just normal offering. There's a mystery. There's many people I know who took, abanye they saved money, abanye they had lump sums that they had overnight or for whatever reason from business or whatever. And they took large amounts of money and sold it, sometimes to a man of God, to a church, for a project or whatever. And they named it, we need a house. They named it Stinger Logo. They named it Logo. They named it. Now, the danger of what I am teaching, or if you don't understand what I teach, or the danger side of what I'm teaching is that you will think imali can buy things from God. No. There's a king in the Bible. I think the king of Moab was fighting Israel in the book of Kings. He was losing the battle. Sacrifice. Israel lost. It's a principle. Even people in the evil world, they know it. Even those ones practice it more than us, the church. They are always sacrificing those people. Forever sacrificing. If they give an instruction to funegin komola, they don't ask, they go for it. It's only believers where, I'm not saying it wrong, I'm not criticizing, but I'm saying the truth. It's only us who are always pointing fingers. Bazalan, I know there's been an abuse of giving in the church of God. I know. But it doesn't mean we throw away the principle. If you throw away the principle, my friend, you are also wrong. You don't fix wrong with wrong. You don't fix wrong with extreme measures. Let's bring back the principle right by. I believe in giving, Bazalan, because I give myself. I believe in tithing because I tithe myself. Now, there's a gentleman who was sitting on a prophecy that was delaying. And in his spirit, he sensed he needs to sow a seed. It took him time, sacrificed, took it, sowed it to the work of God. In a short space of 2 weeks, the word was fulfilled. Are you with me? There's a man whose wife was sick with cancer. And they took a large amount of money, presented it to the altar, and the wife was healed. You know why? Money, the heart of a human being, is attached to money. When you let go of large sums of money and sacrifice, that altar. That is why bazalwane iminikelo uyayazi into ukuthi iminikelo bazalwane izinyembezi futhi at the same time. Kuneminikelo izinyembezi. There's a friend of mine. Okay, I won't say the name. He once pastored a church. So they asked him to come. He left another church to go pastor the church. They gave him an envelope. So he doesn't understand. So he's thinking they're blessing him. They said, Mfundisi, le imali yetinyembeti tabazalwane bebakhala kuNkulunkulu. Idla tinyembeti njengampristi mawutidla letinyembeti. I laughed at that thing, but I said to him, no, but you must understand, there's a principle they understand. Mawudla letinyembeti tethu umpristi kaNkulunkulu. Nkulunkulu, that's painful. And that's where their faith was, and that's how God moved in their lives, because they believed God. They believed that God would do it. Are you with me, bazalwane? Bamkhona uNkulunkulu would do it, and God did it for them. uNkulunkulu bazalwane urespecta genuinity of your heart, sometimes more than trying to figure everything right. When you are genuine and you are going against all odds, God will honor your faith. No matter understand the fact that you took the step of faith, and uNkulunkulu will meet you halfway, and uNkulunkulu will bless. Some of us are not blessed because we know too much. We bless because of obedience. We bless because we walk on water. We bless because we just like we're willing to remain fools. And Lord, I don't know how, and God is like, the heart. The heart. A contrite and a broken heart is what I'm looking for. That God is looking for. It's the heart. It's the heart that is quick to forgive. It's the heart that is quick to let go. It's the heart that is quick to embrace God. Bazalan, if you compare the sin of David and the sin of Saul, in my opinion, David was the worst. But you know why? David is the one who came out tops, even though he was the worst sinner compared to the two. This guy is just told to kill the Amalekites. He doesn't kill. He does evil. It's because David's heart. So, there are times where you don't have the money to sacrifice. You genuinely don't have it. But there are times where you have the time to serve in an area. Serve that area. Serve with your life and with your time. Bazalwane, when you do it, let me tell you, at some point you are activating prophetic words. It was Joshua Selman, way before he was known. Uti, He went to a Reinhard Bonke crusade in Nigeria. Because Reinhard Bonke, before he died, he was in Nigeria for the most part of his ministry. And he says, he went there, he says, I want to just join and just push the wheelchairs. They said, no, you must join a committee. He said, I don't care, I'll come. And he went there to serve. He was pushing people with wheelchairs to the altar. And he says, I already had a ministry, I had a name by then. He had a name in the certain part of Nigeria. He wasn't known all over the world. And he says, I served that grace. And he says, guess what? Things began to happen in my ministry. There's a secret, there's a secret in service, and just serve with your life, and just say, I'm going to serve, and not serve to be seen, and not serve in areas where they will serve where they will be seen. They will serve in areas where your name will never appear on the bulletin. You will never be known, but heaven records your heart. One thing I love about service will teach you humility. Sometimes you do serve, but treat it like trash. You do serve, but appreciate you. You do serve, and God will be testing your heart. Are you serving because you want me to be your God, or are you serving because you want your name to be seen? Are you serving so that you will complain and say, Abang God? Then when God sees a true and a genuine heart in His time, when He decides, that's service. Just like Colonias, Acts chapter 10, your prayers and your almsgiving have remained a memorial. Memorial. Service. On the 5th, I sent a long text to a family. Long text. With a picture. And I said to them, it was last Lady's time, where you guys said you want to see me. And I thought you wanted prayer because I was tired. And you guys drove in the double cab back, and I thought, it's just. And you said, God said, we must bring it to you, Mfundisi, so that ministry doesn't become hard. And I said, it's a memorial. I remember, I haven't forgotten. This seat is a memorial. When they sent me a reply, they were crying. And they told me a miracle that just happened. Now, I won't mention it. It says, some things are Safun says, I said too much. They said, Fundis on the 14th, this and that and that. And I said, look at God. And I said, next, because I still cry over this car that you brought. Is it right? Come on, because it's right. Heaven is going to remember, and heaven is going to move. Your prophecy that is lying dormant, your prophecy that seems like it's not moving, my friend, your word is coming to pass. The prophetic word is fulfilling. The prophetic word is going to come to pass. Come on, fulfill that word that God spoke. That word, that word. Funi's color in serve. Serve. Sow your time. Come on, sow. Serve and say, I'm going to serve. I'm going to serve. I'm not going to look for the front seat. I'm not going to look for my name to be seen. I'm not going to look for recognition. Lord, I'm serving, and as I serve, I believe you that you're going to do something over the word. Lord, I don't understand why the word has not come to pass. God, I'm going to serve for the sake of my children. I'm going to sow so that my children will cross that bridge easy. So that when they are stranded, someone will come and say, I don't know why, but I just feel I need to bless you. I don't know why, but I remember, Bazalan, you don't know this testimony. It's only my mother who knows it. When I was in Rema, it's kaftin besingeko bekunzima. Rema school fees was expensive at that time, when the Bible school was still there. Bible school by Valley last year, Josh McCauley now opened a primary and a high school. At times, it was hard. Kibeli taxi guy too, from Paklu to town, and then you move, you walk downtown, Bree, you catch a second taxi, and then now Rema, you're tired, you're hungry, it's just a lot. There was one lady who just said, I don't know why. And she said to me, what's your name? I said, Tuduzi. Tuduzi, she's a white lady. I'm going to bring you lunch every day. But when she brought me, my friends used to laugh and say, hey, Mlochu, it was a joke in those days. I used to eat a proper, my love, a sandwich. It stays, Mgan. Thank you. It stays, it's on foil. And she would bring it to my letter. Oh, my God. Umlocho asas wakesangan. Tell us, I let tell you now, I didn't understand. Guess what? My parents sacrificed, and that thing